Men are now starting to develop bigger boobies than the average woman because of how soft this era of human beings are, especially men. Now, I've already made a list of 3 things you can do to become more masculine. So now I'm going to make a list of 3 things that will make you more feminine, aka things that as a man you should not be doing. First thing is telling everyone about your problems. There's literally men out there that will go through these tiny little struggles that the average man could actually deal with and still feel the need to tell the whole world about it. It's a very womanly trait because, if you're a strong man with a working, functioning brain, you know that if you were to do this, everyone would know you're weak and you'd start to build this reputation that, oh, that guy over there, now he's a weak man, he's feminine, he's weak, he tells everyone about his problems. And some people would even use your problems against you. And this is the sad truth of a man's life, right? Competition is a big thing, right? So if a man finds out another man's weakness, they will do anything to throw them back into square one because they now know their weakness, right? With women, it's different because you don't have to be like a very strong, minded woman to live a good life. You can be like an averagely strong woman and still live a good life. But with men, if you want to live the best life you can, you have to be stronger than 99.9% of men. And this is just the truth. The only people you should be talking about your challenges to and your feelings to are your boys, your male friends, not female friends, male friends, if they're trustworthy and masculine enough themselves, and maybe your parents if you feel like they would understand and trust you instead of, telling you off for it or something. Because I'm gonna be honest, most parents out there are trash. Like, they don't know how to talk to their kids, they don't know how to raise kids. Some people just aren't made for having kids. So, if you're in that small bunch of people that do have understanding parents, like I do, for example, then go for it. Because, it's okay to talk about your feelings to your parents if you've got good ones, right? Because you don't always have to, act all big and tough in front of your parents. Because the truth is, your parents have seen you at your most vulnerable moment. When you were a kid, you used to cry over something or whatever. So your parents have seen you cry before. And if they've got love for you, they'd love to hear, how you're feeling and, the struggles you're going through, because that would show your parents that you actually have enough trust in them to, be that tiny bit vulnerable around them, Anyways, listen, you should only be telling anyone about your issues anyways if it's, too big for you to solve on your own, right? Because there's going to come a bunch of times in life where you're going to have to be independent and solve problems on your own, as there's going to be no one there to help you, and no one's going to be able to help you. The second feminine trait that men are very guilty of is blaming everyone and everything but themselves. Oh, it's not my fault I did drugs. It's not my fault I fapped again. It's her fault. It's his fault, right? You look for any excuse. You look for anyone to blame but yourself. The only way you're actually going to be able to make progress in life and get over these bad habits is to take responsibility for actions you have committed. Yes, there may be times where someone or something is partly to blame, but to be able to improve in life, you have to be stricter on yourself. You have to have that mindset where if anything goes wrong in your life, it's your fault because it's your life. 9 times out of 10, you could have done something different to avoid making that mistake, or at least make that mistake worse, but you didn't. You did it anyways, right? You have the most control over your life, not other people. Remember that, right? So, when you come across a problem, instead of, oh, who can I blame? What should I blame, right? The first thing you should be looking at is yourself, and then maybe go on to blaming something else or other people or your environment or whatever, right? But you always start, when you have a problem, always start with yourself. What could you be doing better? What could you have not have done to avoid this mistake, right? Remember this. And finally and thirdly, the most popular one is being a sheep, following and copying everybody else. I mean, this is something we've all been guilty of at times, from doing drugs to fit in with the other degenerates, or wearing cool clothes to, impress everyone and get appreciation from others. Just not being your own person, not living for you, but instead living for others, living to impress others that don't actually care about you. And if you're honest with yourself, you don't care about them either. You only care about their opinions and what they think of you. A masculine man doesn't want to follow what's trendy, what's hip and cool. A masculine man wants to be his own man, taking the opposite path compared to what everyone else is taking, because in the long run, that masculine man knows that more people in the end will respect him for being different and not being a sheep, a copycat, a bit female dog. So those are my 3 things lots of men do every single day that decrease their testosterone and ruin their reputation of being a strong masculine man. If you haven't already, check out my video where I give you 3 masculine tips on how to be a stronger man and jump far ahead of your competition to succeed in life on screen now. Thank you for watching as always, take care and peace, bye bye.